I'll be engaged in a talk or in a title, under a title, which is so far very feebly used in the entire country. Now, India is a huge population, but when we take the population of volunteers, it is very less, below 10 percentage. And especially trained volunteers, if you say, it is below 1 percentage. That is, it is in decimals. A population of 130 crores people having less than 1% of trained volunteers is an alarming state of affairs. Taking a cue from there, when I was in my school days, and I was a very shy guy, very introvert, not that enterprising, very fearful inside, not able to even communicate in English properly, and a kind of a solitude personality that I carried because of the fear factor inside, maybe a little low self-esteem. But one thing which was always helped me is I had absolute willpower to a fighter. Slowly, I realized myself within myself that I am changing my personality for better. And today I am speaking before you with an experience of having trained at least 5 lakhs people across the world, around 19 countries on various topics, say 528 different topics, right from the managing director to the mason worker level. And how it happened, the spark, the seed was the interact exposure that what I had in my personality. On that basis, coming to my topic, how to be a trained volunteer. Before getting into the topic, we should understand first what exactly volunteer means. Okay, our volunteer means offering service of free will. We should not have any hesitation inside us in whatever service we are doing. If we carry some kind of a hesitation or some kind of a doubt inside us, it is not volunteer service, it is a forced service. So the volunteer is offering our services by a free will is the fundamental meaning that we need to understand what exactly volunteer means. Having understood that, now let us be focusing on how we can transform ourselves from a volunteer to a trained volunteer. I will touch upon four significant aspects. If you want, you can note it down. The first is, where are the areas we can volunteer? The second one is, what are the rights of a volunteer? The third one, what are the responsibilities of a volunteer? And the last one, what volunteer can achieve? So these are the four areas that I would like to share with you, that how we can transform ourselves from a volunteer to a trained volunteer. The first one, areas of volunteerism. We are a students of either a school or a college. Now, the area of volunteerism is not confined to our school boundaries or college boundaries. It is more than that. And it is not also confined in our neighborhoods or in our society where we live. It is more than that. Some examples I can share with you. Where are the different areas of volunteer service are required? Services are required. One is in our home, if we take kitchen, you can volunteer yourself by getting into the kitchen where so far either our mother or the parents or our other senior family members would have been there. We can do tremendous service in the kitchen by way of various kind of activities. Just encounter that experience in your future days. You will find it amazing there. The second is the stores, a departmental store or a provisional store, wherever. If you go there and see for yourself, first just focus what is happening around you and then offer ourselves as a volunteer. We learn a lot. Either we can do as a part-time or a minuscule time as a volunteer job or a work in the stores. we will learn so many things of worldly life. We will start understanding the people, how they act, how they behave, and how they think. It will be a biggest learning which no institution can make us learn, a practical learning. Third, shelters, whether it is a destitute home or a old age home or a physically challenged people residing home, whichever shelter it is, we should go and offer our services as a volunteer at least once in a year or whichever period suits us. It will just awaken us what human being means. That question can be answered very easily if we experience that. Shelter homes or shelters. Another is environment. We can go for trekking, we can plant trees, we can create mini forests, we can visit a botanical garden, so and so forth. So many things, environmental issues are there. We can fight pollution. It will be all a learning experience as a volunteer. We can join organizations which we have already done. We can take up leadership positions. We can take some responsibility as a project director or a project head. There, our leadership can be tested across. Medical field. There are so many volunteer work is required in medical field. Many people. We will come to know that how medical field is working across, how many patients are suffering, what are the right types of medications available. It will be a big learning experience for us. Animal welfare. If we are fond of animals, say pet culture, either dog, cats, peacock, so many pets are available, or real animals, to visit some cow sheds or some buffalo fields or goat rearing institutes. There are so many things are available in animal welfare also that can widen or build our vision in a different way apart from human being, how animals also lead a living life. And tutoring, we can become a teacher for the younger kids or the kids who really requires our services. We can become tutor even at the age of say 10. It is possible. Sports, we can be a volunteer in sports activity, even if not playing the entire game, but supporting the game by small errand jobs. And it will awaken the sporting spirit inside us, and it will make us competitive ready for the future days to come. Law aid. We can visit courts, we can visit some kind of a mechanism where the judicial system is working, like say parliament, legislatures, our corporation meetings, our municipal meetings, our village panchayat. So many things are there. If we are very curious about on policies, procedures, then we can visit those places and get to know about the law and the aid it requires for the law to get implemented. We can volunteer there also. So these are some of the areas of volunteerism where we can focus upon according to our own interest or our own hobby. The second aspect, the rights of a volunteer. Every volunteer carries a right. It is defined in the law. Unfortunately, if I take the country of India, many people, including Interact clubs, Rotaract clubs, Rotary clubs, and other organizations, including to an extent government, have not created an awareness, because the volunteerism, as I said earlier, is below 1% in the entire country. Maybe that is the reason the awareness factor is also very minimal. Every volunteer has a right. And what are the rights of a volunteer? Since the first right for a volunteer is to have a healthy and a safe environment to work on. Wherever we are offering our services, wherever we are involved in the process of the implementation of the jobs or works, the environment should be safe and healthy. It is fundamental. The second right is every volunteer should have an insurance coverage. Now, this is one area which is called as a gray area, which is not much focus or study has been done. Every volunteer should have an insurance coverage. I would like to encourage to get some kind of either an individual insurance coverage or a group insurance coverage for the entire. The right of a volunteer is getting insurance coverage. Another right is discretion of the role or the time. The volunteer has to decide what volunteerism or what work they can do, what service they can offer. They can decide how much time they can give, how much time they can work, how much time they can serve. Nobody can impose a condition on a volunteer. You have to work only there, you can work only for this time or this time. No, the volunteer has to decide what is the kind of or nature of the work we can do and how much time we can do. Another right is the volunteer can get trained. The volunteer can demand from the authorities or from the people who are in charge. I want training on this particular area. Say, for example, if we are volunteering ourselves in a medical field, the training that what we can insist upon our organizers or our superiors is, I want to know what is first aid. I want to know what is CPR technique. I want to know how basic medicines are being handled, so on and so forth. So we can get trained ourselves there. Basic training input we can demand as a right. And the fourth is specialization. If we really are in some kind of a special job, say for example, if we visit shelter homes and there the people are already suffering and they are confined to a small living space, there how I have to communicate with them, what kind of words I can speak, how I have to act myself before them, how I can show my body language to them. Now, those areas we are not aware much. We may presume these are good things, these are right things, but unfortunately, it may backfire. So, we need to get trained on that. We can get specialization to be a volunteer, and that is another right a volunteer can demand, that I want to specialize in how to handle myself at the project site, at the program area, like that. So, volunteer rights. The third is the responsibilities of a volunteer. Every volunteer, when they decide that they are volunteers and they are offering their services in whichever areas of volunteerism is, they carry some responsibilities. What are some of the key responsibilities a volunteer can have? The first responsibilities is the first of the responsibilities is commitment. Once we decide to offer our service, we should see that the task taken is completed. Even if we are not able to complete, it is given a perfect reason that why it was not completed. We cannot leave the task in half. We cannot leave the task in part. We cannot quit in between the tasks. Commitment carries the first responsibility for a volunteer. After commitment, we need to be time punctual. When we say we arrive at the site at 10 a.m., we should be there at 10 a.m. We can't carry any reasons or excuses. We should be very, very disciplined over there on time punctuality. The third responsibility is we should be reliable. No untrustworthy actions a volunteer can do, even if it is ready made, even it is very alluring, even if it is nobody is saying I can misuse something. No, we need to be a reliable volunteer. We have to follow right kinds of ethics, truthfulness in handling ourselves as a volunteer, and that is a big responsibility we carry on our shoulders. The fourth one, we have to notify well in advance that if we are not available on a particular agreed time or slot, because communication is very important for a volunteer, because the entire work or the entire project sometimes depends upon volunteers, And suddenly, if the volunteer vanishes, the project or the work collapses. And we should not be the reason for that collapse. So we need to inform or communicate in advance. In short, we should be open in our communication, and that is a big responsibility we carry. We need to adhere to the policies. Say, for example, I already mentioned the shelter homes. Shelter homes do carry some kind of a do's and don'ts, and we should be aware of that. When we say medics, hospitals or clinics do have some don'ts, do's and don'ts. We have to adhere to the policies. So any volunteer should be following those policies or laws or the codes to the maximum. We cannot give an excuse that I am not aware of it. No, we need to be aware of it and then get into the job of service. All right. So adhering to the policies. And lastly, we have to prepare a report. Whatever volunteer service, whatever volunteer job, whatever volunteer work we do, it has to be documented. Once the documentation happens, then our role gets a finishing touch. Now, why documentation or reports are necessary or important? The reason is it gives us a medium to self introspect ourselves. What we have done is to the objective or not. What we have done is to our satisfaction or not. What we have done is useful or purposeful or not. That is one. Second, it can be a helpful tool, our reports or our documentation, for the future volunteers to have a reference. Oh, this is the way it has been done, and this is the way that we can also do, or we can do something better. So it can be a reference tool. So reporting mechanism is also an essential tool that we should carry it as a responsibility. So these are the some of the responsibilities a volunteer can have or be a highlight inside their personality. Coming to the last part of it, what a volunteer achieves. Okay, I am a volunteer. I have offered myself. Okay, I got trained as a volunteer. Fine. Now I know adequate basics, how to be a volunteer, what volunteers should do, how they should act, and all that stuff. But ultimately, what is the outcome? Ultimately, what is the result? Ultimately, what happens to me after being a trained volunteer? What a volunteer achieves? Well, there are so many things that we can achieve. How kids between the age of 10 and 15 can achieve worldwide recognitions. Same logic applies to us also, every individual volunteer also. What a volunteer can achieve. The first thing a volunteer can achieve is our skills or interest gets a platform or gets a medium to work upon. Some of us may be very good in painting. Some of us will be very good in some kind of a collections. Some of us would be very good in storytelling. Some of us will be very good in singing. Some of us will be very good in dancing. Of late, some of us will be very good in technology aspects, or some of us will be very good in gossiping or chatting. Everything requires a medium to show. Now, volunteerism is the best medium which can be offered to any individual to show their skills or interest. And that's an achievement for that, because many success stories have not come out because they didn't get the platform. Many individuals have so much skills and talents inside them, but not able to execute because they don't have a medium to work on it. Volunteerism can help there. So that's a big achievement. The second achievement is we explore new paths. When we have some kind of a vision, when we are able to think, when we are able to dream, when we are able to even perform some kind of an action inside our brain, but that is all confined to a limited space unless we go out, unless we travel across, unless we meet new people, meet new situations, our vision cannot be enlarged. So we need to do that so that our vision gets enlarged. Once our vision gets enlarged, we can find the sea or the ocean full of opportunities available for our personality to grow or groom. And that is endless opportunity. Now, I was always dreaming to visit an overseas country. Since Sri Lanka was very nearby to India, I was always praying God, please God, help me to visit Sri Lanka once so that in my personality, I can say that I have visited overseas. And what happened when I volunteered myself as an interactor, then as a rotractor, then as a member of another organization, another volunteer organization, and the personality grew like that. So today I'm in a position to say I have seen enough countries. I'm tired of seeing many countries now. That kind of a total paradigm shift had happened. How it happened? Because of the volunteerism interactor. So we can create new paths for our success stories, for our future careers. The third achievement we can get is we get recognized. We can become a public figure, or we can be a person who can be emulated by others. We can become role models by default. We can be getting recognized not just by recognition by words or actions, but even by awards and all. Many areas of recognitions are available. Now, what is there? What is the fun in that? Well, it gives us a lot of inner satisfaction once we get recognized. So for whatever the small job, for whatever the small work we did to the perfection, or we did to the objective fulfillment, and if that gets recognized, the best recognition always gives us the inner satisfaction. I have done so much or so many volunteer services or volunteer projects. I can share with you one particular example or one particular realistic experience that what I encountered. It can still bring tears in my eyes. Once I visited a shelter home having children with some mental disability. There were around 14 children there, not knowing why they were human being, not knowing why they are living, not knowing how to eat, not knowing how to take care of their, say, urination or the other aspects of the body biology, not knowing whether they are existing as a living being. Very pathetic sight. I was not able to withstand myself that scene. Within a minute, few seconds, I could not stand there. I came out of the room and started crying violently inside me and I was cursing God. Why did you produce these kind of children in this year? Then I slowly started recuperating myself, slowly started telling myself that no, no, I have a job here. I think I should be of some help or some kind of an input that I have to give to these unfortunate children. I started working on it. And once, as the process was going on, a small child, maybe around, say, 8 years old, suddenly smiled across me. And the smile is of that kind of a contentment within themselves. Whenever I see you, I become happy like that. And that smile was the biggest boost in my personality, was the biggest input source material inside me. Then I decided I am going to be a permanent trained volunteer in this society. And that's the reason why I joined Rotary International also and became a Rotarian. And till my death, I will be a trained volunteer. And that is the significant achievement that I can have. But what is the spark? How I was able to realize that achievement motivation there just by a 8-year-old mentally disabled child's smile. We never know how volunteerism throws up challenges as well as throws up opportunities for a personality to groom across. So here with a clarion call from I motivate, I encourage, and I urge all the interactors for watching this program to come out of your shelf, be a trained volunteer, offer your services to the maximum help possible, get yourself also gained by your volunteerism, and try to see the society is being served by all the virtues, by all the means, by all the desires and interests that we have. Employ our skills, use technology, see the end result for better. If that happens, we have lived our human life, we have lived our volunteerism life to the meaningful end. And that is what is required. I would like to wish you the best for your success in your volunteer work. Thank you very much.